Real Talk with Grace Redman features conversations with fierce and fabulous people from Grace's community and circle who inspire others with their stories of overcoming challenges to create amazing. Grace is an entrepreneur and success coach who works with individuals to diminish their negative mental chatter, boost their confidence, achieve their goals, and increase their prosperity mindset. Get ready for a series of anything goes conversations with remarkable men and women that will get you jazzed for life's unlimited possibilities of success, freedom, and fun. Welcome to Real Talk with Grace Redman.
So I just want to thank everyone for joining us here today on another episode of Real Talk, where I get to have real life conversations with incredible people from my circles and communities who have overcome challenges and created fabulous. Today, I'm super excited to be here with Alejandra Marin. And Alejandra is the owner of Alejandra Fitness. She helps women lose weight without dieting. Her specialties include weight management, posture alignment, nutrition, mobility, and mindset training. Clients receive much more than meeting their weight loss goal. They go through a life transition in many areas of their life, including mindset, emotions, and pain. Not only do their bodies change, their pain and stress is reduced, and their perspective of life is expanded with optimism and positivity they didn't think was possible. Alejandra has always had a passion to serve people with weight management. However, optimizing their mind and body to its fullest potential is her true purpose, and it brings her incredible joy. Thanks for joining me, Alejandra.
Thank you for having me, Grace.
You're very welcome. So, the subject, of the weight management is something very near and dear to me because I started dieting at the age of 10.
Oh my gosh.
Right? So I'm
That's
really excited to have this conversation.
Yes.
And I love how you said it's through mindset too. So I want to get, there's so many things I want to get to, but tell us a little bit, about yourself and how you started on this journey that motivated you to start this, fitness business.
Yeah, so I'm Alejandra Marin. I specialize in weight loss and mindset and posture alignment. I got started because, I didn't go on diets, at the age of 10, but I was always a very thin girl. I was always into sports. I grew up in Mexico up until I was 8. So I was always in like theaters and running and just being active, out and about before we didn't have social media or phones or iPads. So our adventures were outside. So, I've been a really thin girl. So when I came to the US, I grew up in Half Moon Bay. I wasn't into sports. My whole life changed dramatically. Back then when I was in Mexico, I was treated like a little princess, like I had everything I wanted, not trying to, sound all cocky and stuff.
That's your reality.
Yeah. And so coming here, it was like, I was Cinderella. So it was like, you have to eat this, you have to do this, you have to clean that. And it just changed dramatically. So, why I started this or why I got into this is because I always had stomach issues, since I was a baby. Believe it or not, I don't know if I'm saying this word right, but my grandma would put suppositories up my behind so that I could go to the bathroom because I would get constipated. And they didn't know why. They just thought, this is normal. This is who she is. This is Alejandra. So I thought it was like this thing that it was just normal, and I had to live with it. But then growing up, going through the stresses of a new lifestyle change, a new environment, a new home, a new family, I just began to feel really depressed and stressed. And I didn't realize that, right? I didn't know that. But then I realized that I was developing my mom's character traits.
And when you say character traits, what were those character traits that you were taking on?
Yeah, it was like, well, my gosh, that's like a whole different story.
Kind of words. Whatever you like to hear, darling.
first thing would be the anger, like the way that you respond, right? Like if we would react rather than respond logically. And that made me a different person. I'm just going to put it in simple terms.
I mean, I could relate to what you're saying. Because same thing. Same as you, I took on my mom's characteristics. And one of the characteristics was she was on a constant diet.
Okay, well, my mom would eat anything, everything. She would like stuff her face, you know? I had a smaller stomach. I couldn't really stuff my face. So she would always say, finish your plate. You better eat all of that, you know? Or like, even if I didn't want it, like you're getting that and that's all you're getting. Like you need to eat that because that's all you have. And so I just developed this like anger, like, oh, why is she so demanding? Why is she so controlling? Why do I have to do this? Why do I have to do that? And, you know, I would complain all the time about my stomach. I'd be like, Mom, my stomach hurts. Mom, my stomach hurts. And she's like, ay, qué enfadosa eres, you know, I'm talking in Spanish, like, you're so annoying. Cállate, you know, like, shut up. Like,
eat your food.
Yeah, just eat your food. And I'm just like, damn, like, she's, you know? So, after a while, we had a really negative relationship and she wouldn't let me out. So I got
out of the house.
Yeah, like I couldn't go hang out with, like I would do in Mexico. Like I would just go hang out with boys because I grew up with all men. So I grew up kind of like a tomboy, you know? And so I would get annoyed and irritated that I couldn't go out when I had okay grades and I wasn't, you know, a bad girl. I wasn't like a mean girl or anything like that. Like I had a lot of friends. And so, and this is going to lead up to why I got into this. So after a while, I got so fed up to the point where I couldn't go out. So the only way to get out was to join sports. And I finally had an excuse to say, Mom, I have to go to practice. I have to go to a game. She still wouldn't let me. She still didn't believe me until the coaches ended up calling her. So finally, I was able to get out and about. So I never really gained weight, right? I never really had to worry about gaining the weight or getting big or anything like that. But I still had health issues, stomach issues, stress, depressed. So that caught up to me until I was 17. And long story short, at 17, I ended up moving out. So moving out, I started to work when I was 15 because she wouldn't give me money for anything. So I had to pay for my own things. And so I ended up, I ended up moving out and I worked 2 jobs, 17, 18. And during the middle of the year when I was 18, I tried on some cute jeans that I love because they make my butt look really nice.
I love it.
All of a sudden, these freaking jeans didn't fit me. But I didn't realize it. I didn't know. I didn't feel like I gained weight, nothing. Like I didn't feel anything. And I still had the stomach problems, right? So I take a picture, Grace, and I'm like, oh my God, my muffin top is like perfectly over my pants. That just hit me. I just like got so much more depressed. It went downhill. I isolated myself. It was so bad. Like I started dieting. I didn't know what diet to go on. I would do hours of cardio. I would wake up at 4 or 5 in the morning to go do some sprints in the treadmill. I'd be at the gym 2 to 3 times a day. And so all of a sudden, you know, I'm like, hey, why don't I just become a personal trainer and learn how to, you know, personal train myself? And so that's how it all started. And after I got started, I still ended up gaining more weight. I got up to 138 pounds. And right now I'm 118. So if you can just imagine the amount of weight, you know, I gained, I didn't know. I'm like, how can a personal trainer be gaining weight? Like that doesn't make any sense to me, right?
So if I hear you correctly, you were Well, first of all, it became an obsession, which I can, relate to. And I think for me, it was the world around me. Had the world around me is like if you weren't a size zero, then you were, I mean, you were obese. That was how it was. And so then that stuck in my mind. So then it
Yeah.
sounded like you created, that obsession. Now, was it because of the world around you? Was it because of your mom? Like, because it's
Well,
not that big of a deal when you put on jeans and, we have, some weight on us. It's really not that big of a deal. What made it a big deal for you?
well, it made it a big deal because I would get ashamed. Like I would be working at the bakery because I was working 2 jobs. I was wearing this cute top, and remember, I grew up with men, so I'm a tomboy. I don't know how to dress yet, and I would even get made fun of with my friends because they'd be like, "What are you wearing? What are you wearing?" It was all because of my mom. Like she never taught me how to eat well, how to dress well. So it was partly my mom and partly me. So um, I was wearing this cute shirt, and this client sat in front of me, and we started talking and chatting, and he was like, "So, what do you do?" And this and that. And when I told him I was a personal trainer, he looked at me and he's like, "Wait, so are you pregnant?" And I'm like, "Huh?" I was so confused. I was like, "What do you mean, am I pregnant?" "Yeah, I mean, you look big." And I was like, "Oh, thanks, asshole." Excuse my French. And he's like, "Yeah, aren't personal trainers supposed to be skinny?" And that's when it hit me. I was like, "Oh, hell no." So I was like, "Wait, why isn't my mom like, why isn't she healthy? Like, why doesn't she eat salads? And why doesn't she she just cooks Mexican food? Why
is a bomb?
It's hella good, And some meals are healthy, but there's literally like no greens. There's no greens at all. And so when I started learning nutrition, I was like, okay, I'm gonna learn everything I can about personal training so I can also help my family and my mom, right?
Which I want to talk about nutrition because for someone like me, I restricted myself most of my life from food because I was always dieting until 5 years ago. I said, okay, I'm going to live a healthy lifestyle, and I make an effort to eat whatever I choose. Now, can I eat? Can there be a balance? Like, can I have French fries and pizza and still, be healthy and have my salads too? Does it have to be all or nothing?
Great question. So let me just first ask you this. How does it make you feel, not emotionally, but physically, after you eat fries or pizza?
Well, you just said another word, emotional.
Yeah, emotional.
For me, I did a lot of emotional eating, and I still do. I own it. I'm aware of it. So there's two ways. Emotionally, if I'm in a good place, I feel like, oh, this pizza is amazing. I'm nourishing my soul, and it feels good. Physically, afterwards, yeah, I don't feel that great. However, I made that choice.
Okay.
But if I'm in a place where my old triggers are there around food and body image, yeah, emotionally, I don't feel that good when I eat it, and I know it's a mindset.
So my question was, physically, how do you feel?
Well, I mean, like I said, physically, most likely, I'm going to feel more full than I'd like to.
Okay. So the to answer your question, there people have a interpretation that if you eat healthy, you're going to be healthy. But my interpretation of being healthy is up here.
Amen, sister.
So if you're going to eat the pizza and the fries, after you eat that, you better not think about it emotionally or physically. And that's being healthy.
Yeah.
That's emotional freedom from food.
That's emotional freedom. That's emotional freedom. And I fall back and forth. I mean, I'm just being transparent to
Yeah.
you and the audience that's watching, because I've struggled with food and body image since I've been 10 years old. And you're 100% right. I know I can go for months and enjoy foods and enjoy wine, and I'm fine. However, if I get triggered in a situation where it takes me back to my childhood, where I feel like I'm not good enough, when I start eating that food, yes, it's a mindset. And then I start feeling the guilt. So I really love how you brought that to point. Because there's something called intuitive eating, which I think that goes with the mindset.
And body dysmorphia is so real. Like, I mean,
It is real.
I've gone through it, you know, I'm sure every woman has gone through it.
I struggle with body dysmorphia, as well, and I'm aware of it, and I make an effort, to heal and journal and work on my
Mhm.
mindset. I've come a long way, and I feel like
Mhm.
it's something we don't really talk about. We talk about the exercise and we talk about
Right.
eating
The-
healthy, but we don't talk
yeah.
about the struggle that comes with it.
Yes. Yeah. Absolutely. And so, um, the question is, how is mindset related to weight loss? Or like, how can you have emotional freedom from food? So first you have to believe that you have to ask yourself, do you believe that you can get to that point where you can have emotional freedom? If you start to think logically like some people do and ask, well, how? Well, see, the how doesn't really matter. Do you believe is the question. Is it yes or no? It's not how can I believe. It's do you believe it? Yes or no. If it's
So,
no, then we have an answer. If it's yes, we have another answer.
so what do I do? What does a person do if do you believe and the answer is no? What are some steps they can take to help them believe that this is something they could do?
Well, first, that's a great question. Just like religion, how long does it take you for you to believe that religion?
Hmm.
It's not like you go sign up and you're like, okay, I'm ready to be Catholic. You are born Catholic. You don't have a choice, right? So with belief in regards to mindset related to weight loss, we have to retrain and reprogram the mind, and that's my coaching, right? That's
Mhm.
we have to reprogram those old beliefs, those limiting beliefs preventing you to believe that. So a lot of, and it's not just with weight loss, it's with everything in life, right? Do I
Right.
believe that I could have that self-worth? Do I believe that I can have that job? Do I believe that I can really support my family? Do I believe that I can pay my debt, right? So it's that kind of, I don't know if that answers your question.
Oh, it does, because I believe in the laws of the universe, the principles of the universe, the law of attraction, and it does most of the time come down to our beliefs. Now, are there some things that are destiny? I believe so. However, I
Mhm.
do believe that the majority of the way our life moves forward is based on our beliefs.
Mhm.
So I agree with you.
So
On
the first
belief.
thing to do is, yeah. So one thing you can do is start to talk to yourself as if you were already there. So kind of like you're, bullshitting in a way, because you know that the universe doesn't know if you're being
Right,
serious, you're lying, or you're
right,
saying the truth, or you're not. The universe just listens.
right.
So it'll bring you whatever it is that you're stating, you're affirming. So if you look at yourself in the mirror and you go, oh my gosh, I'm so fat, or like, oh my gosh, this looks like shit on me, or oh, why am I so ugly? Then the universe is like, okay, well, I'm gonna bring you more of that. So
That's right. That's right. And I know some people don't really it doesn't resonate, the fake it to the make. Fake it until you make it doesn't resonate for a lot of people. However,
yes,
for me, I think I did. There's a lot of times I faked it till I made it. And I have journals where, I had, I ams. I mean, I am affirmations, page after page after
hmm
page. And then after a while, when I'd go back, I'm like, oh, I am that now.
yeah,
So for me, the faking it till I made it, it worked for me. And I know it doesn't work for everyone, but
it
that's
worked for me too.
right. It's about the rewiring. So if I keep saying, I'm full of, I'm no good, I'm not worth, though, that's a habit. That word, the statement becomes a habit, becomes my reality.
hmm
When I start saying, I am good enough, I am enough, that becomes a habit too. That's
So see, what I tell my clients, or what I say to, well, but when they tell me, well, I just can't bullshit. Well, here's the thing. Are you bullshitting yourself when you say, I am just who I am, and, or I am just this way, or
Mhm.
I am just ugly? Are you bullshitting yourself?
For sure.
Right?
Is it
So
true?
yeah, so it's like it's a mindset. It's the way that you talk to yourself. So if you the I am affirmation, like just I am blank, that is like power. It's like calling your genie, right?
Yes.
So those words are super, super powerful, and most people think that it's just words. But when you say like I am ugly, if there's a deep emotion with it, then that's what manifests itself.
Absolutely. And that's the thing when we attach the emotion. And then, you would look in the mirror. I know I would look in the mirror and I'm going to get emotional. I would look in the mirror and all I would see is ugly because that's how I was programmed.
Right.
And then the world around me told me I was ugly. So then I told myself I was ugly. And then I look in the mirror and I see ugly, which in reality, of course, that's not true. No one is ugly, but our mind is very powerful.
Yeah, because think about it this way: if you were blind, would it matter, right? What's ugly?
Everyone is beauty. Everyone has beauty.
Yeah.
And we are going to see in ourselves how we feel. Like if I'm feeling like shit, I'm going to look in the mirror and I'm going to feel like I look like shit.
Yeah, and I always put it this way: like, look at all the celebrities out there, right? That have so much fame and money. Like, are all of them beautiful and handsome, right? I'm not trying to say that some are ugly, but just if you're really trying to compare physical traits, do you know what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, it really doesn't matter what you look like. What matters is what's here.
That's right. And that's why I see beauty in everyone, because beauty isn't here, beauty is here, and then it emanates out.
Exactly.
Emanates out. However, we're not taught that.
No.
Because then we have, the society and the cosmopolitan magazines that, I looked at all the time. And again, the world around me said, you are only beautiful if you look like this. And girl, I did not look like that. So again, all of this goes back to how do you feel about yourself?
Right, exactly. And how you treat others, because how you treat others is how you're going to treat yourself.
That's right. How you treat yourself is how you're going to treat others. That's why lately when I've been, dealing with some, negativity from other people, I really haven't taken it personal, because if they're treating me that way, how are they really feeling about themselves?
Exactly. Yeah. And I learned that the hard way too. Every time I would get bullied or I would get someone give me a negative or bad compliment, I would just say, I pray for your happiness and your healing, because it's most likely a reflection of who they are.
Right. And if they trigger me, I also know there's more healing for me to do around my worth.
Yes, absolutely.
And you know what? We're a spirit in a body. Yeah. And as long as we are in this body and I'm breathing, it doesn't matter, how old I am. It doesn't matter how much work I've done. I'm always going to have different layers of healing to do, which that's because we're alive. As long as we're alive, there's going to be healing. And although this is really about, we talked about the weight, but really the weight it's more than that. It's really about how we feel about ourselves and how we take care of ourselves based on how we feel about ourselves.
Exactly. Yeah. So quick little story. Before, when I was in my little depression state, there was this beautiful girl that came in. She had no makeup on. She was wearing like this hippie outfit, loose pants, loose shirt, baggy clothes, an old purse, and lots of jewelry. And she was literally radiating, like to the point where I'm like, Jesus Christ, like, who are you?
Right?
Yeah. I love that. And I never seen somebody so enlightened like that, right? Yeah. So we were talking for hours, and we're not supposed to have anyone at our desk for more than like 30 to 40 minutes, right? We're timed with our transactions. And long story short, I told her a little bit about me. She told me a little bit about her, how she grew up and how there was domestic violence and all of this and all that. And the best thing she gave me was to start writing affirmations, like you mentioned, right? And kid you not, she goes, just grab like a little, postcard or a posted note or anything, and just have a box, and every morning write an affirmation down and put it in there. And so I start with, I am beautiful, I am photogenic, I am safe, I am healthy. And oh my gosh, I struggled to write those words. Like, it was like, like I just, it was so hard for me. And so finally one day I was just so emotional. and I filled out both the front and the back because I was just like, I am this, I am that, I am wonderful, and da da. And I just started bawling. Like, it was like a major breakthrough because, again, we need to bullshit, right? Like, we're bullshitting the fact that we are healthy, we are happy, we are amazing, we are beautiful. But with repetition, I finally felt it.
Yes.
Yeah. And so finally it just clicked, and I've been doing affirmations since. And now that's what I coach as well. I include that in my coaching. And so I just wanted to share that because, like you said before, sometimes people don't have that, I can't bullshit, or they feel that. So it's like, well, it's not that you're bullshitting. It's a practice because you are trying to practice the person that you really want to be. But if you think you're bullshitting, then that's already a limiting belief because you're blocking yourself from moving in the direction that you want to go. Does that make sense?
Amen. Absolutely. Absolutely. Because when we say, I'm not good enough or I'm ugly, that's a bullshit story right there.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
I love
another thing that I just wanted to touch on is, and I really want to make sure that this is clear for anyone listening, is there's a lot of false information out there in regards to diets and calorie intake and calorie expenditure. So I don't want to go into detail about like basal metabolic rate and total daily energy expenditure and stuff like that. They can look up those terms if they want. But what I do want to say is that there's a certain amount of calories that you burn in a day based on your lifestyle. So your lifestyle could be different than mine, right? I'm a construction worker and you have a sedentary job where you're constantly on the computer working at home. I'm going to for sure burn way more calories than you. And in order to allow my body to function properly, I have to eat the same amount of calories, if not more, to meet that expenditure. Do you follow me on that?
For sure. I mean, it depends on how active you are, how many calories you're burning.
Right. That's what I'm saying. A calorie expenditure, like energy expenditure. So a lot of women I see on like Facebook groups as well, specifically, they're like, I'm on 1,200 calories and I'm not losing weight. And I go, that's why? Because you are on 1,200 calories. That is so low. Like, that's survival mode for the body. So what will happen is the body will store and hold on to fat cells to provide energy to function. And so then instead of you actually burning fat because you're not eating, your body's actually holding on to fat because you're not eating. And so the way to fix that is to make sure that you're eating enough food until you get full, but you have to be very mindful as you're eating, not just like stuff your face. And then another thing that is related to that is a lot of people think they have to go on diet. So like, well, what diet should I go on? What should I eat? I don't know what to eat. I'm so used to, eating whatever I want. Well, come on. Everybody knows what eating healthy is. It's not eating a burrito. It's not eating a pizza. It's not eating In-N-Out. It's not eating Chipotle, right? It's like, it's eating from home, eating vegetables. That is healthy.
Can you still eat pizza though?
You can. It's all about moderation, right?
Totally.
Yeah, okay, so here's the thing. Eat foods that make you feel good, mentally and physically. So look up healthy, easy meals because everybody seems to be in a hurry nowadays. So healthy, easy meals, and eat as much as you can. Like you could even, have a little bit of rice on the side with some chicken and some mixed veggies, or maybe even a bowl of salad. Not too many raw vegetables because we also want to take care of our gut health. So if you eat too many raw vegetables, that may be too hard on your stomach. It's all about digestion. So
and what's good for you too, maybe feeling how it feels to you.
Right. Yeah. Like some people can't eat meat, so then don't eat meat. It's not about the healthy part. It's about how you're feeling. I cannot eat raw broccoli, raw salads because I get really bloated.
Mhm.
And so then if someone's like, oh, just eat a salad, that's healthy. It's like, well, it's not healthy for my gut. Do you
Like
see
you know what works for you. So it's what it
Yeah.
sounds like. There's really not one size fits all.
No, and there's no diet that works at all because diets are not long term.
Mhm. And just
Yeah.
kind of, you know, eating the food, be mindful what you're eating, see how you're feeling after you eat it. And I was trained for weight loss hypnosis, and that was something that they also taught us in training. Is like while you're eating, like be mindful when you're eating, taste it, and then after, how does it make you feel? And you get to decide from there if you know that's something you want to continue to have in your I don't want to say the word diet. You decide if that's something you want to continue to have as part of your nutritional diet.
Yeah. For example, avocado toast is very popular, right? Like, oh,
What is
that's
it?
avocado toast.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, like that's very popular. That's healthy. It's a nice, healthy, easy, quick meal. For me, for example, I cannot really have an avocado toast anymore because of the gluten in the bread. And so if I cannot digest gluten and avocado is a fat and fats help slow down your digestion to absorb the nutrients, I will be bloated in 30 minutes and I will
Right.
look
So you
like,
know what works for you.
yeah.
Which brings me to something that we've talked about before is how can we improve our immune system with mindset and nutrition? Like how does tell us
Mm.
a little bit about how that goes hand in hand.
Okay, so um, there are first let me talk about the immune system really quick before I integrate nutrition into that. So you know how the pump has its own, the heart has its own pump to circulate blood. The immune system doesn't have a pump. So how can you improve it? How can you strengthen it? How can you boost it? The way to strengthen the immune system is through breath.
Mm.
So any kind of breath, deep breathing, breath work, meditation, walks, runs, workouts, stretching, right? Like yoga or anything that anything that involves the breath. And so if you're stressed out, if you're depressed, if you're anxious, we don't really focus on our breathing. We're so focused on what's up here.
That's right.
So if you don't exercise or you don't move, then that's going to be even worse. You're just weakening the immune system.
Mhm.
And COVID right now loves inflammation. So if your immune system is weak, COVID, you're more susceptible to get COVID because it's not able to fight it off.
Right.
And so to integrate nutrition into the immune system, number one is fast food restaurants are called fast food for a reason. They're fast food. So most likely those foods don't have any nutritional value. They may say, it's high in this, high in that. It has benefits here and benefits there, but most likely it's false advertisement to get you to come into the door, especially with the fat advertising signs that say only $1, right? So
Right.
your brain is gonna be like, ooh, dollar, ooh, healthy, easy, fast, right? So everybody wants fast, quick, easy, so they go that direction. And it takes effort mentally to think, okay, maybe I shouldn't go there. I should, maybe go to Panera, which has healthier options. They have beliefs that that's more expensive. I just want to go through the drive-through. I don't want to wait for my food, right? So then you have this self-talk. So I would recommend to reduce the amount of fast foods and start prepping from home, start eating from home. Now, a lot of people are going to be like, well, I'm so busy and all this and that. And it's like, everybody's busy. Yeah. Everybody. You can squeeze 2 hours at least once a week to prep all your food. Or at least,
that used to be me. Like, I'm like, oh my God, I'm so busy. And I would get so annoyed when people talk to me about food prep. But it took me many years. And finally, for the last 7 years, I have been food prepping. So I always have cut up vegetables and fruits. And so I grab those. But, it doesn't mean that I'm not going to grab a cookie or I'm not going to grab something else.
Yeah.
Just, I make an effort to eat more, more healthy, take more healthy options into my body.
Yeah, yeah. And you know when you are eating healthy, your body will tell you, or your body will respond to it, you know? And so actually, just a quick little side note, there is an article, I forget who it is, but he did a quick a test trial where he's like, okay, if it's all about calories in and calories out, I'm going to eat Oreos, burgers, and hot dogs for a whole month, and it's only going to be a certain amount of calories, and see if I lose weight. He did, but is he healthy? And what about the long-term effects?
That's true.
What about high blood pressure? What about cholesterol? What about, you know, so it's that kind of, you know, thinking. So here's a quote I read the other day. If you don't make time for your health right now, later you're going to make time for your illnesses.
That's true.
You're going to have to make time for illnesses, whether you like it or not.
That's true. And then that's a different type of investment, which brings me to the other question, because you've talked about how we can manage our physical pain with nutrition. Tell me a little bit about that.
Okay. So how can you manage physical pain with nutrition?
Right. That was something that came up when we talked about, like, that we can manage our pain through nutrition. How can we do that if we can?
So that's a good question. It was more of how can you manage pain with weight loss.
Okay.
Yeah,
speak to that.
So nutrition would be like more of a gut health, and weight loss would be part of posture. So
got it.
Posture alignment. There are over 50 health conditions related to poor posture, and one of them is back pain, shoulder pain, neck pain, stubborn fat, IBS, arthritis, carpal tunnel, migraines, bunions, bowed legs, pigeon feet. I could go on.
So I know myself, I could have much better posture. I know this. That's not a secret to me.
Yeah, great. We can all have better posture, right? Like, I'm still improving mine. And I can give you my story on how I got into that as well. But so if you don't have good posture, the body will start to compensate. So we want the bones to do the work of weight bearing, not the muscles. So a lot of people think that I need to work out and I need to get stronger so that I could reduce pain and have a stronger back. And so here's the thing. If you over strengthen your quads, for example, like you do a bunch of squats, a bunch of leg press, a bunch of leg extensions, a bunch of stairs, stuff like that. Think about it like this and see if you can follow me. If the quads are so strong, they're connected to the pelvis, so they're going to pull the pelvis forward.
Got it.
So if the pelvis is not vertically aligned, then it's going to be tilted, and then that's when we have that anterior tilt. Right? And we see that a lot in people. We see people have like a nice strong legs, but then you see them, walking like this, or if not, they're like this. Right.
Kind of like, I feel like I'm like that sometimes. So what can I do?
What can I do?
What can I do?
Yeah. So, and let me. Oh, before I answer your question, there's another thing that I see a lot, and I know this because I was in that position. Okay, that's why I know this. If you also strengthen your chest a lot, like you do a bunch of push-ups, a bunch of planks, a bunch of high planks, a bunch of crunches, a bunch of bicep curls, and bench press, I think I said that already. You're going to strengthen the front part of your body too much, where if you don't strengthen the back side just as much as this, you're going to end up like this, right? Or like that. And especially with our lifestyles now and the phone, and we're constantly like this, you're programming the body to be in a forward position. So that's what happened to me. I had sciatica, I had back pain, I had bunions, and still kind of do. I'm working on it. And I also have shoulder impingement and terrible, terrible neck pain. So I stopped weight training my whole body. I don't do squats anymore. I don't do crunches. I don't do planks. I don't do any of the traditional weightlifting or, weight training. I do what's called reposturing fitness. And reposturing fitness is a way to primarily focus on back strength, chest, shoulder mobility, hip mobility, quad, flexibility, and then strengthen just the back, like only posterior chain workouts.
Interesting.
So if you are trying to go to yoga, for example, a lot of yoga exercises are front loaded. Do you know what I mean by that?
I think I have an idea, but can you explain that?
The front loaded as in like, okay, the downward facing dog, right? That's a front loaded because the whole front of your body is holding on to your weight, your arms, your chest, your shoulders, and then you're contracting your hip muscles. So you're technically strengthening the whole front side of the body. You're stretching the back, but you're still strengthening the front. So front loaded exercise.
Got it.
And I'm not saying don't do yoga, right? Because yoga is great. A lot of people have benefit from it. But if you have bad posture and you have back pain or you have shoulder impingement, yoga may not be the best thing. So on Instagram, I have put some exercises that you can do from home, just using a doorway to just stretch your shoulders, stretch your chest.
Now, can those...
are we still there? I think it froze.
I think I lost you. Yeah, it froze.
Oh, you're frozen. I think we're frozen.
I could hear you. Oh, there you are. So if an audience that's watching is interested in maybe getting, did you say you have some exercises they can use? Is there somewhere where you could lead them so they can see those stretches, those exercises?
Yeah. My Instagram is Alejandras Fitness.
Okay, perfect. And we'll get to that. We'll have, we'll let our audience know how they can get in touch with you. So getting back to, I want to talk a little bit about, you started your own business as for the physical training. And so tell me, how do you enjoy being an entrepreneur? How do you enjoy it? What are the pros about being an entrepreneur?
The fact that I don't have to report to anyone and I can go to the bathroom as many times as I want and eat whenever I want. Seriously. Freedom. I mean, like I drink one of these consistently. If it's empty, I would get up just to go fill it up again. But that requires for me to go to the bathroom. So my bathroom is right next door. If I was working for a corporate, I'd be gone every 20 minutes. And then, when it happened, I would always get in trouble. Where's Alejandra? Oh, she's probably dancing in the bathroom. We should bring her desk to the bathroom. It was so annoying. I'm like, I have to go to the bathroom. Like, I'm human.
Freedom, which I hear you. I'm definitely a freedom personality. And that's one thing I definitely love about being an entrepreneur. What's something else that you enjoy about being an entrepreneur?
I can work anytime, anywhere. That's literally the best part about it. Because if I want, I can just book a flight to Hawaii and still be here, right? I don't have to go somewhere, get ready to go to work or drive in the traffic. Oh, I hate traffic. I hate driving in traffic. It's such a waste of time. And I mean, I'll listen to a podcast or something, but still it's a waste of time and you can't get time back. So how do you use your time?
That's true. And again, it keeps coming back to the core theme of freedom. You have the freedom to come and go and work when you want. But what are some of the challenges that you face as an entrepreneur in this business of yours?
Oh gosh, great question. It's the mindset, right? So with a corporate job, you have a steady, consistent income. Here, they had to do a garbage load right now, right in the middle of our podcast.
Okay. I was doing an interview yesterday, and a truck backed into my window, and all you could hear was and I was like, oh my god. So it happens. It happens.
Oh man. Okay. So you have your consistent paycheck, and so that's comfort. That's comfortability, and with being an entrepreneur, you can manage your paycheck. So it's not about how hard you work, because the work that we do, we're passionate about. So technically, it's not really work. I mean, if I could work all day, Grace, I probably could. Just give me a little cup of whiskey and I'm good. You know?
I love what I do too.
Yeah, but it's obviously we have to take a mental break because it is, draining for the mind working on the computer. But having the strong mindset that clients are coming your way, or that people actually care about your content, or that all the hard work that you're putting in, even though you're not getting paid right now per se, like you're not going to receive, your hour of $20, $30, it's going to be beneficial in the future. And everything that you're doing right now will eventually get you to your goal, which my goal is to be a billionaire, not a millionaire, billionaire.
Right. Yes. And that's where, as us women step into our talents, and we own our worth, we also start owning the abundance, because I feel like so many of us haven't stepped into the wealthy part of us. And as we step into our worth, our abundance, and into our wealth, as women, that we can really create amazing change. And I love that you said not millionaire, billionaire.
Right, because millionaire, you're when I think about that, I think about like, well, why not a billionaire?
Right.
Like I want to, my goal is to be a billionaire, because if I say millionaire, I'm limiting myself from that extra million, right? Or that extra money. So,
and the universe is unlimited. With that said, as a billionaire, what's one thing that you'll do? The first thing you'll do once you're a billionaire?
Oh my gosh, good question. So I have always had a dream to have Tony Robbins, right?
Oh, yes, he was like one of my first personal development teachers.
Yes, he's the one that helped me overcome depression on YouTube.
Right,
so,
me too.
That's awesome, yeah. So you know how he has retreats where he has thousands of people join, and I went to one here. It was like a real estate convention center event in San Mateo.
I was there.
And there was, oh, you were? Me too. I loved it. It was so cool. He was literally right there in front of me. It was amazing. But anyway, so he was one of the speakers where he hosts his talk and what he does. I want to have a women's retreat where, I know this is probably going to sound crazy, but
there's nothing to girl.
And I know it's possible. That's why I have this idea. So I own an island somewhere, and I want to host a retreat in that island for women to have all the resources and learn all the skills that they need in order to become who they want to be. So like pretty much everything that I learned during my years, and knowing what I know now from other billionaires and other people that have made it or that are financially free, offer all of that in like either a weekend or a 2-week or a 1-week retreat. And only qualified women get free access, but those that don't qualify, then they would have to pay. And I want to do it free because I grew up with no money, I guess, or like in a poor, environment. So if I had the opportunity to go to something like that, it would suck not being able to go, because of money. So all I would need is to have them share their story with me, and then they qualify.
I really love that. And so it's making all of these tools, resources, and knowledge accessible for women who may not have the access to it, who may not be available to right now in that way. I love it. I think that's amazing. I'll be there with you.
Yes, absolutely, for sure. I will definitely need you to be your transformational coach.
I'll be there. It was so amazing to have you on today. Thank you so much. It was totally raw, totally real. I loved
Yeah.
it. And can you please tell our audience who are watching and those on the replay where they can find you?
Yeah, so I have a website. It's alejandrasfitness.com. They can also email me at alejandrasfitness@gmail.com, or I have an Instagram, which is the main page that I use. It's Alejandras Fitness. So it's pretty straightforward.
And also, we'll have the information there at the end of the podcast for whoever wants to reach out and is interested in. It's really more than weight loss program. It's a mindset, weight management, and just really getting healthy. So you've created something that's really incredible and necessary. And thank you so much for joining me today. I definitely look forward to staying connected with you and collaborating again.
Yes.
It's been amazing. It's been amazing.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me, Grace. I really appreciate it. It was a really cool experience.
Fun. I loved it. I loved it. And thank you for everyone who's joined us and those who are watching the replay. We really appreciate you. And if you enjoyed this episode of Real Talk, please feel free to rate it and share it. It would mean so much to us. And until next time, make it a wonderful day. And we are so grateful for you. Take care.
Yes.
Bye-bye.
Take care. Bye.
Hey, love, thank you so much for listening today. I am so grateful for you. I'd like to show you my appreciation by gifting you a free forgiveness self-hypnosis audio download. Part of living the fun and fabulous life is practicing forgiveness. Forgiveness can be such a long and challenging process. My intention is that this forgiveness audio will help you in practicing forgiveness, especially with yourself. Grab it by visiting daretoachieve.com/forgiveness. For more inspiring tips, make sure to connect with me on social media. Drop me a line on Facebook or Instagram at Grace Redman Dare to Achieve. Until next time, keep moving forward towards living your fabulous life.